This is Brian.
This is Mike.
We're here to talk about sports today.
Well, Brian, I'd like to ask you, what do you think the Mariners did right this year?
Well, to be honest, I think their hitting did really, really well. Consistently, they were able to hit the ball. They were able to hit home runs. They were able to hit RBIs. I mean, they did really well overall. I was really impressed with the hitting. We have a bunch of players like Segura who is hitting 296. The season's not over. He could bring that up to 300, which would be awesome for his career. I believe Cruz has done really, really well. He's hit 289 so far this season, 37 home runs. It's a mammoth amount of home runs, especially hitting in Safeco Field. If I don't know if you remember, fans, management and players were complaining that it's not a hitter's ballpark. You can't hit home runs in this stadium. That's not true. Past players have hit home runs here. Alex Rodriguez hit home runs here. Edgar Martinez hit home runs here. You can hit home runs. That's what they did. Yeah, exactly. They brought the fences in, and they did it in the first couple of years. People were still complaining, saying, "Hey, you can't hit home runs in this field." Not true. Nelson Cruz hit 37 home runs. Now, did he hit them all here in Safeco Field? No, he didn't. But he hit a vast majority of them here. I really want to talk about Mike Zunino. I know a lot of you out there are probably on the fence about Mike Zunino. You know, he's a great defensive player. He's amazing behind the plate. He will throw you out anytime you try and steal on him. He's amazing at throwing people out. His hitting, I got to be honest, I've not been a huge fan of him. He's not been able to hit the ball very well.
That's something he's definitely struggled with.
Yeah, I mean, majorly so. In the first half of the season, he was not hitting the ball. I want to tell you folks, I got a little stats right down here, so don't mind me if I look down. That Mike,
I believe he's hitting 247 on the season.
Thank you, Michael. So he's hitting 247 on the season. I just want to let you guys.
Dingers, I believe.
Oh, that's very good. That's very good. So I want to show you guys, or I'm going to talk about pre-All-Star break, Mike Zunino. You guys want to know what he was hitting?
He went up a little bit.
Oh, sorry about that. Right. Sorry about that. Mike Zunino hitting 223 in the first half of the season. You know, not great, but to be honest, a lot better than he's done in previous years.
That's for sure. I mean, last year before the All-Star break, I don't even think he was hitting 200.
No, I think he's hitting like 180, 190. Let me show you guys. You want to know what he's hitting post All-Star break? Let me tell you. He is one of the hottest hitters on the Mariners ball team. He's hitting 274. 274.
That's quite impressive.
That's a catcher. If your catcher's hitting 274, you got to be happy.
Oh yeah.
I don't have enough to say about the hitting. The offense was amazing this year. They did really, really well. They did struggle at times. I did find sometimes they'd leave guys on base. I felt like a lot of times we get bases loaded with no outs and maybe come away with one run. I mean,
you can't do that. You got to score at least twice.
You can't, especially when the pitching isn't there to be able to support the team like they have in past years. I think Dipoto has done a great job in bringing in some great hitters. Cano, Cruz, Seager, Gamble, Segura. They are rocking it right now. What do you think? What do you think went right? I'm sorry, I'm talking the whole time here. What do you think, Michael?
That's all right, Brian. I appreciate your perspective.
Well, you know, it's...
You know, I do think that the hitting was well.
Okay.
I do think that the Mariners hit well this year, especially compared to last year. I think that Segura and Gamble and then Haniger had his moments as well.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even mention Haniger.
Yep, and then the new pickup in Albers, he really hit well. Toward the end, it looks like... Wait a second. I apologize. That's not Albers.
Albers is a pitcher. Excuse my brother here.
My bad. Anyways, I'm trying to think of what his name was. Alonso.
Alonso, yes.
That's what he was. We brought him in as a first baseman. I thought he hit well at times. There was definitely room for improvement there. But
I agree.
It was nice to get a fresh guy in who could maybe do something for the team. Pitching-wise, you know, I felt like the starting pitching was pretty good. You have Paxton, Felix, and...
Ramirez,
thank you. Ramirez, he was a good surprise. I gotta be honest, when we got him, I was like, what in the world are the Mariners doing? Why are they trading for this guy?
Yeah.
We already had him, and he was terrible.
Yeah, I know. When you've had, I hate to do this, but when you have Jackie Z up there at the top managing the team, you question a lot of the people he picked up and brought in. Really, I felt like didn't do much for the team.
Well, I'm glad that we've got Dipoto and
I agree.
Scott Service at the helm. I thought that he's done a pretty good job. There's some times, though, where I'm not entirely sure what he's thinking or what he's doing. I don't understand why you put a position player in at your pitcher. If you're down by 3 or 4 runs, that's not the time to put a position player in as a pitcher. That's the time to put in a good pitcher who's going to keep it at 3 or 4 runs, and maybe some of your hitting guys are going to come around like Cano and Cruz and Haniger, or even Zunino toward the end of the year, and come and get those 3 or 4 runs back and maybe help you win this ball game. I did not agree with that. And then another thing, I felt like that we could have definitely used the bullpen a little bit better.
Yeah.
I feel like there were shining moments.
I feel like you're getting a little ahead of yourself here.
I might be.
I'm just wondering what went right.
Well, you know what? I'm ready to talk about it all.
Okay. Well, you know what? Well, then let me ask you. Well, obviously you're going into this. So what went wrong?
Well, let's segue right on into it. I firmly believe that the injuries. I know it happens to every team. And I know it's hard to minimize, but Segura was in and out all year. You had Haniger out. You had Felix out. You had Paxton out. Iwakuma hasn't played all year.
Yeah, well, he's not rebounded.
He's been hurt all year, and I think he'll be back next year. But again, that's a full year that he's older now, and he's not going to be the same as he was. Felix is getting older too. Yeah. I feel like the older he gets, the more fragile maybe he's getting.
Here's also the thing: we threw down all this money for Kuma, and not saying he doesn't deserve it. Don't mean any disrespect here, but that money could have been used for other pitchers.
Other guys that maybe could have come in and done a better job, or maybe even a sustainable job.
Yeah, and I mean, you can't always predict injuries. You just
course.
It just happens. But I think Mariners went through 16, 17 starting pitchers this year.
That's way too many.
I don't think any other club this year had that many starting pitchers.
Yeah. And honestly, the bullpen, it struggled at times, especially early on in the season.
Yeah. They did do better towards the end, though. I think at one point, they were the number 1 ERA in the AL for bullpen.
Mm-hmm. At the end of the season, they definitely picked it up. And I think the Mariners as a whole picked it up at the end of the season, but for whatever reason, when we start to face those good teams like the Indians or the Astros or the Yankees or the Red Sox, somehow we seem to struggle and we just can't find a way to win. And I think that's what makes a good team good. Well, you can't win games and you can't win playoff games if you can't beat the good teams. And I think that's the reason why the Mariners are not making the playoffs this year.
It's another year, folks. 16 seasons in a row now in the playoffs. I know it's disappointing. Trust me, we're extremely disappointed. I told my wife I'm going to get tickets for the playoffs this year. Me and my brother here are going to go to the game.
World Series.
You know, and that's okay. Maybe next year.
Speaking of next year.
That's my favorite line. There's always next year.
There's always next year.
But before we segue, okay, I got something to say. Another thing I felt like you felt like they played well towards the end. I feel like I got to disagree just a little bit here. Month of September, they couldn't close. We were at 1.2 games out of the wild card. They got swept by the Astros. Now, don't get me wrong, Astros probably I think the Astros are going to go to the series this year. I think it's going to be them and the Indians.
And they're both American League teams.
No, I know. I meant I think it's going to come down to them and the Indians at the end at the ALCS.
Okay.
And even though the Indians are hot, don't get me wrong, they're very hot. The Astros
2 games in a row, was it?
23, I think maybe.
23. Yeah.
I know.
That's impressive.
It is. But the Astros, 23 games in a row. The Astros pitching is just so good.
They are very dominant.
And here's the thing: the Mariners got swept by the Astros, but at the same time, the Twins got swept by the Yankees. If the Mariners hadn't gotten swept,
they might be right in there.
Yeah,
you never know. It's something that maybe you're right. Maybe if they had just pulled it together, maybe even won one, not gotten swept.
Or even split the series. I think they played 4. And
it's unfortunate when that happens.
Yeah, I think it was 3. Excuse me. Anyway, what were you going to say before?
Well, I wanted to segment into the next thing. What to look out for next season.
Next season.
Since this season's all but over.
A big thing, look out for the outfield. We're going to bring back Gamel, Segura, and bring Haniger. I think that right there is going to – oh, no, sorry, not Segura. I don't know what I'm talking about. Segura is our second baseman. Dyson.
Shortstop. You're just all over the place, my friend.
I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, do I? Obviously, I don't know anything about the Mariners, do I?
Dyson, Heredia was out there. You've got Haniger. You've got Gamel. You've got Cruz sometimes.
I know.
DH a lot.
Yeah, he's our DH guy. He's not playing.
Well, he does play right field on occasion.
This is true. I'm sorry. This is what I meant to say. We got Dyson in center field. We're going to bring back Gamel, and we're going to bring back Haniger. And I think that right there in the outfield is a dynamic duo. They're great defensively. I don't know if you guys have seen their arms this year. Amazing. I don't know how many
I
guys
think Dyson threw a guy out from deep center field at third base. The guy who tagged up from second, he got thrown out.
He threw out a couple guys this year. All three of them, I think, have great arms. That's going to be your starting outfield. I think you have that to look forward to. Honestly, Mariners fans, that right there is so promising. They're going to be awesome next year. Their hitting is going to be off the charts.
Defensive side of the ball.
Oh yeah, that too.
Dyson had his moments where he couldn't hit this year, but he also had moments where he was hitting on fire. So I think if he just swings it more consistently, you're going to really like what you see out of Gerard Dyson.
I think you have hitting to look forward to. I know there's a strong point this year. I think you have that to look forward to again. I think if Zunino really can build off of, and he can hit 250, 260 behind the plate. And then you have Cano, he's a 280 hitter. I don't think you're ever going to get 300 out of him again. He's getting a little older. He just can't hit as well. That's okay. I'll take 280. I think Cruz is a 280 hitter. Seager's going to hit. Seager needs to get up, though. Seager needs to hit better. Seager, I'm calling you out right now. I love you. I'm so happy the Mariners have you. I think you're a phenomenal third baseman, but you need to hit a little bit better, my friend. You're hitting 250-something. And you're better than that. You're a 280 hitter. I'm just going to say
255 post All-Star.
He's a 280 hitter.
251, I think, all season.
You're going to go home and you're going to hear it from Corey. Corey's going to give you grief that his team possibly go to the World Series, maybe even win it this year. You need to stick it to your brother like I stick it to him, okay?
Easy. We don't do any sticking to each other. Okay? This is not that kind. I am married. All right. Let's be honest.
Keep your head out of the gutter. Anyways, you got to beat your brother, man. You got to beat him. You can do it. You can hit 280. Oh no, I beat him all the time. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Anyways, last time we played basketball, who won?
No, this guy won. Anyways, so I think you have that to look forward to. Pitching, if we're healthy, I really think you can look forward to that. Paxton was awesome this year. He's really good. I really think that he can have a good year next year. I'm on the fence with Felix. I love Felix. I do. He's always seems, from my experience in watching, he's a little wild in the first and second innings.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
if he gets past those first two innings without a hit, there's a great chance he's going to throw a perfect game.
Yeah, or a no-hitter. I mean,
the guy literally struggles in the first inning, sometimes the second, and then he's just on fire usually from then on. Yeah. And usually struggle. I mean, sometimes Felix struggling in the first or second inning means one run or two runs. But in the past, especially when that's one or two runs against the Mariners, we know how they've hit in the past. And obviously, if the hitting is better, it won't matter as much. But if they're struggling to get one or two runs across the board, giving up one or two runs in the first inning, that's really hard to come back from, and that's something you can't have.
Well, but I think this year and next year, one or two runs is okay, but sometimes he's giving up 3 or 4. He gave up slam the other day to the Astros.
Yeah, and some of that, to be fair to Felix and fans of his, it could be injury. I do think that he's been plagued by it all season long, even when he's been quote unquote healthy.
Yeah, I agree.
And the same thing with some other guys. You know, you get back from those injuries and you're ready to play, but you're not there.
You're there mentally, just not there physically. And don't get me wrong, we're huge fans of Felix. I love Felix. I'm so happy we have him on the team. It's just, I think you have to look forward to pitching though. I do think they're going to be better next year. I think DePoto's going to go out and get some arms. I think DePoto had a 5-year plan, and this here was year 3.
Yes.
So next year's 4-year. Fans.
I think this is year 2.
Is this only year 2?
I think so, yeah, because, that's right.
Okay. So, hey, look out, fans. I think next year, the year after, we're going to the playoffs, and I think the year after that, we might go deep in the playoffs. Maybe even ALCS. Cross your fingers, World Series.
I think that somebody's a little optimistic.
Well, hey, it's been 16 seasons. It's been 16 seasons. I need to be optimistic.
I would love to have that optimism, but until they can stop losing 5 games in a row and then winning 2 games and then losing 3 and then winning 4 in a row, the consistency's got to be there.
That's true.
I need to see the consistency.
Okay.
Next season, for me, I think that I like the outfield. I like the infield. I like Cano at second. I like Seager at third. I also like Segura at short.
Yeah.
First base is a little bit of a question mark. I know that Alonso, as I mentioned earlier, stepped in and he played a little bit.
Yeah.
I know that I think DePoto talked about at one point maybe going out and finding another first baseman. With that being said,
Valencia wasn't too bad defensively. He did start to go downhill a little bit. hitting wise.
Yeah.
I'm showing here he hit 224 in the second half of the season. So
yeah, and maybe Valencia just had some minor plaguing injuries of his, or maybe he had something else going on. I don't know.
Yeah.
He just need to hit a little bit better from the first base position. I'm starting to get flashbacks of Justin Smoke, and we don't want that. Now, to be fair to Justin Smoke, he's hitting with Toronto right now, and he's been amazing for them.
What the heck, dude?
Yeah, screw Seattle over. Thanks a lot, buddy. But that being said, I do think that next season we have a lot to look forward to. There's a lot of young talent. Segura's got that 7-year contract.
Yeah.
So he'll be around for a long time.
7 years?
I believe they said it was a 7-year, $59 million contract. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's correct.
Okay.
So that's something to be looking forward to. I definitely think that he is a key in the middle of the infield, and I think that he is a great defender.
Okay.
He's got that star quality, that star stud quality, that Derek Jeter-esque.
Okay.
Him. I think he could be that guy for us that really takes our team and is the leader of our team. Because Cano and Cruz, they're older guys, and Cano's going to be around for a while. But as he gets older, the production's going to go down, and then you need young, new leadership. And I think Segura could be that guy for us.
Well, to kind of build on that, who surprised you this season?
I definitely think that Gamble. I never heard of this guy before the season. I said, who did we get? What, Gamble? We're making a gamble here?
I know.
But especially early on. Now, he cooled off a little bit late season, but you know what?
Early on, he was hitting
but he's a real young guy. He's very young. He's very new to this league. And so I don't fully fault him for maybe cooling off. Maybe pitchers kind of got to know him, got to know his likes and his dislikes on the strike zone, and maybe they pitched to him. I remember when Justin Smoke first joined our team, he was hitting over 300 at one point. Pitchers got used to him. Oh, yeah, he was up there at one point before the All-Star break, I think, once. But he
came with Ackley.
Justin Ackley is that's a great example. Pitchers learned how to pitch against him. They learned against Justin Smoke that if you throw him a curveball, he's gonna miss.
Yeah.
What a surprise! Guess what? Mike Zunino last year, he threw him a curveball, he's gonna miss. What a surprise! This year, a lot better. He's not chasing the dirt. He's not chasing the slime. He's not going after the low stuff. He's keeping his eyes up. He's keeping his bat back. He's ready to hit what's in his zone and connect for average. And I really like that. Thanks a lot, Z.
To add on to that, Zunino really surprised me the most this season. I mean, Gamble surprised me. Segura surprised me. A lot of players were like, "Oh, this is a really bright spot," but Zunino, because again, I if you ever see this Zunino, I hope you don't think we're really just dogging on you. I mean, I think you've done well, but I gotta dog a little bit, just because watching the games with my wife, and I tell my wife, pitcher, it's gonna throw it down and away, it's gonna curve out of the zone, and every time you do it, and you'd swing at it, that was your MO to get you out, was down and away. And you fixed that.
I have nothing but praise. I think when you went down to the minors, you're watching, when you went down to the minors this year,
you figured it out. You figured it out. You're a boss. Like, you know what you're doing now, and it's amazing. Like, you are living up to your first round pick.
And I think that you can live up to that potential.
Oh,
continue.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, continue to listen to Martinez. Edgar knows what he's doing. I'd say the best right-handed batter in the last 30 years. I'm just putting it out there.
Average-wise, it's hard to disagree with him. He hit a lot of doubles. He got a lot of RBIs, on-base percentage. I mean, the guy was an amazing hitter. I don't think anyone could disagree with you on that one for sure.
No, I mean, Zunino really, biggest surprise from this season, honestly.
Yeah.
I was very pleasantly surprised. I remember you were hitting 180, and then I went to a game and your average was 250, and I did a double look at the screen. I'm not gonna lie, I did.
What happened?
I was like, wow.
Yeah.
So
I remember
a lot of praise. A lot of praise.
Yeah, I remember looking at your average, and it was 180, and you didn't have a lot of bats at first, and then it went up to like 185 on 2 hits, and you had I think it was 5 or 6 games in a row where you got 2 hits a night, and I mean,
I remember that. Yeah,
I can remember everybody. Everyone I talked to was like, "Can you believe what Mike Zunino's doing?"
Yeah,
I'm like, "Yeah, I can't believe it at all. Like, this is really surprising," and I definitely think that he was a good, happy surprise for us. He's definitely, again, you keep that up next year, and I think that you're going to have a permanent roster spot.
Yeah.
I want to move on though.
Yeah.
Maybe a disappointment. Change of pace. Who did you expect more out of, and they didn't live up to your expectations?
Kyle Seager.
Yeah.
Kyle Seager. I hate to dog on you, man, but
270 last year and 250 this year. That's just not 20 points.
I know. I don't know.
Home runs haven't really been there either.
Yeah, Seager's been constantly, I would say, a 265 to 270 hitter. Like, that is just what he hits. And this year, hitting 251, 324 on base. It's not, like, great.
About 25 home runs, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, 20.
So maybe I was wrong. The home runs are there. They're just a little bit down. Which is okay. 25, I guess, is okay.
I'll take 25. I'm not going to complain.
Defensive-wise, though, I don't think we can argue with Kyle Seager's abilities. I definitely think that defensively, he has been that guy. Yeah. He has been there.
He's been great. He's a Gold Glover for sure.
Yeah.
I think he deserves to get another one this year. But also, not just, Seager disappointed me, but to be honest, the Mariners disappointed me. I really went into the season thinking that they were going to go over 500 this year. Maybe not make the playoffs, but at least 500. I really, truly thought that.
Brian, I remember us talking about this a lot too long ago. You said, they're going to finish 84 and 80. And I said, no. And the reason why I said that is because...
No, I said 84 and 78 because there's 162 games.
Math is hard, guys.
Yeah,
what can I say?
For him, for sure.
Anyway, I remember saying, I said, no, they're not going to finish above 500. I said they're not going to get there. And the reason why I said that is because they like to do streaks. And when you get streaks of 5 losses and then 2 wins, you can't go 500.
Yeah.
You just can't do it. For me, even though Kyle Seager was a disappointment, I also felt like Felix was kind of a disappointment. The injuries, I know that's not his fault. I know that, injuries happen to everybody, but you got to find a way to stay healthy. You got to find a way to take care of yourself, and you got to find a way to get around hitters. I felt like even when he was healthy, he wasn't pitching all that great.
Yeah, the Astros have your number, man.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I mean, you do great against the A's. You've done great against the Rangers and the Angels, other than Mike Trout. Let's be honest. He's got your number. But that being said,
Angels and A's, you dominate.
Yeah. When you come in and you're supposed to be our ace, I expect you to be our ace. I don't want you to be my jack. I don't want you to be my 10. I want you to be my ace. James Paxton was more of an ace this year, and even he dealt with injuries, which was a little disappointing to see. But that being said, I think that was kind of those are the 2 guys that I felt like I had higher expectations for, and they fell down here. They didn't quite get what I wanted.
Well, speaking of expectations, what are yours for next season?
Next season, I think that we should get 90 wins. I think that's a great. 90. I think that's a great goal for the Mariners. I think they shore up the bullpen, and then the hitters just continue to do what they're doing. Seager, you bring that average up by 10. Just 10 points, and I think that's there. You get the injuries. You take care of yourself. Eat healthy. Work out. Keep yourself in shape. Don't go doing stupid stuff during the offseason, which I know you guys aren't going to do.
Yeah, and we're not saying you're doing that.
Definitely not. I'm just saying if you do keep in shape and you work at it, you guys are going to be ready to take this team to the next level, especially from the starting pitching standpoint. I think our starting pitching needs to be more consistent in order to get that 90 wins. Yeah. If we can get guys like Iwakuma, Felix, and Paxton healthy all year, being consistent, I mean, I honestly think Felix, you could be a 20-game winner.
Ramirez for number 4?
Yeah, and a Master Ramirez. If you can do that on our 4th spot and be just that consistency, that's what I want to see. It's
I'm really thinking Paxton 1, Felix 2, Iwakuma 3, Erasmo Ramirez 4. I don't really know who's 5.
More.
Show me who can be number 5.
Yeah.
Win it. Win number 5 spot. Like it's open.
Is it Andrew Moore?
No, the guy we got from St. Louis.
Yeah.
He could be our number 4 or number 5 guy.
Yeah,
he's done really well here with Seattle.
But there's a lot of guys that can step into that role, and they need to want it, though. Yeah. You can't just go out there and say, I'm the best one, so I'm going to do what I can do, and that's it. I need you to do more than what you can do. You need to be on point.
Yeah. I
think that's really what's going to give us our expectations next year.
Okay.
How many wins did you say?
I can go with 90. I think it could happen. I really do. Here's the thing. Divisional play, that's what it's going to come down to. the Astros are built to last. They're going to be a good team.
They're a young team. They're a good young team.
Yeah, they just got Verlander.
That's going to be tough. He's a little older, but he's still a great pitcher.
Oh, yeah. The Rangers are going to be really good next year, I think.
Yeah. I think they had a down year, but I think they'll pick it up.
Yeah. I don't really know with the age, to be honest, but they got.
You never know with the Oakland Athletics. No, they have the most no-name team in the league, and yet they still pull out 80 wins. Yeah, no-name players. Yeah. And they still pull out 80 wins somehow, they do it on a budget. Yeah. I mean,
this year was not as much. They definitely did have a down year.
Well, and I think that they didn't have those guys that they wanted this year for their no-name budget of excellence.
Well, here's the thing.
I'll say,
go ahead.
Quick, the Angels, they're a wild card. You never know what they're going to do.
Yeah, that's true. They're only 4 games out right now. I don't think they're going to make playoffs.
I think the Twins look good this year. And, it's funny because the Twins were not that good a couple years ago, and they've really turned their whole team around. So hopefully the Mariners can repeat and do the same.
Yeah, so I would just say 90 wins. That's my expectation. I expect the bullpen to get a lot stronger. I feel DePoto, will go in there. We'll strengthen the bullpen. I expect the hitters to come back and play just as well as they did. I think a couple of the guys will get their average up a little bit more. And I think it'll be really good.
Yeah. You have an MVP for this year?
Man, that's hard. MVP. Even though he was injured quite a bit, I'm going to go with Paxton. I just felt like he did really, really well. He's been good in years past, but he hasn't been Paxton like he is this year. I mean, his fastball this year was
Maple.
Yeah,
the big Maple Leaf.
Canadian. Who would have thought?
Right. Hey.
Love
you, Canada.
Yeah. Hey, keep giving us good ball players.
Just give them to us.
Yeah, not the Blue Jays. Anyways, so
they're in Canada. That's the problem.
I don't know. Anyways, but Paxton though he played really, really well. I thought he did really, really well this season. He had great command of the fastball, great command of the breaking ball. He was getting hitters to whiff constantly. Mm-hmm. I guess if I got someone on the offensive side, I'm gonna go Segura. He played really well. He did. His average dropped a bit, but for the entire first half of the season, he hit almost 350, and he still ends up hitting. He's still at 296. He could still hit over 300. 11 home runs, not bad for a leadoff hitter.
That's pretty good for a leadoff hitter.
I'll take 11 home runs. I'd say those are my co-MVPs. What about you?
As much as I'd like to say Paxton, I felt like his injuries. Again, I'm going back to that. I know.
Man, you really hampering on him.
I know. You know what?
Give the guy a break.
But the problem is last year he was injured too, and I'm seeing a pattern here. Yeah. And as much as I would love to say that he's our go-to guy, you gotta stay healthy. Yeah. You gotta stay healthy to be that go-to guy. That's why Felix was our go-to guy for so long, because he stayed healthy.
He's a workhorse.
Yeah, he was a workhorse. 200 innings a year. The guy we used to have, Jason Vargas. I know that he kind of traded to Kansas City.
Yeah, he was a workhorse.
Well, he was a workhorse. He got you 200 innings a year. Now, he didn't have the best record, but he gave you 200 innings a year. He gave that relief for your bullpen, which helped your bullpen in the long run for games when they needed to pitch 5 innings. That's true. So that's something I want to see from our starting pitching more. But if I were to give an MVP, I know. I'm sorry, I'm rambling here.
Negative Nancy over here.
I got to give it to Segura. I'm jumping on the Segura horse. We got 7 years of that guy. I'm looking forward to all 7. I'm hoping that we can get an extension more, even past the 7 years. He's hit. Mm-hmm. He has, like Ryan said, the 11 home runs, which for a leadoff hitter is great.
Yeah.
I'm not expecting you to get more than 5 home runs as a leadoff hitter. I'm expecting you to get on base and steal bases, which, by the way, he did.
Yeah.
He stole tons of bases.
He did.
I love that. That's great. If I'm, growing up, I always loved to steal bases.
Yeah.
If guys are stealing bases, Ricky Henderson, guy was amazing. 100 stolen bases a year. I'd love to see guys steal bases, and so that's something that I would like to see more of.
Yeah.
I guess defensively, pitching wise, we had some good bullpen arms.
Yeah.
I guess. I can't really give an MVP to a pitcher right now.
That's fine.
I'd love to.
That's okay. We just go Segura. So we're going to wrap it up here. We got one last question. If the Mariners make a trade, who should they trade for? Or who should they trade and for who?
Well, I don't know who they should trade for.
Okay.
But I think I know who I would like to see get traded, and I know a lot of people are going to hate me for this.
Ooh.
Kyle Seager.
What?
He's at the top of his
I
game.
hate you right now for this.
Just hold on. Back when we had Ichiro Suzuki, we refused to trade that man. If we had traded him in his prime, we would have gotten 5 players. The last time a 5-person trade went between the Mariners, we got Eric freaking Bedard. We gave away Adam Jones, Chris Tillman, Arthur Rhodes, etc. Look, it's not rocket science.
Yeah,
if we got rid of Ichiro earlier, we could have gotten potentially 5 guys, 3 of which were all-stars, I might add. 3. 3 out of 5 is a great statistic.
Who's going to play third base?
Well, that's what you do. You got to get a guy to come in and play third. Motter is not the greatest hitter, but he can play defensively. He can play third base for a while until you find a permanent guy. Now, again, Kyle Seager, I think you can get 3 guys from him. And I think 2 of those guys could potentially be all-stars. Minor leaguers. I know it's risky to do. I know a lot of people are probably going to shed hate my way. I would appreciate if you keep your comments light, criticism light.
Maybe post his address on here if we need to.
No, we're not going to do that. But if we can trade, and if we can work a deal where Kyle Seager gets traded, and we can get something, maybe a bullpen pitcher, a young third baseman, or a young position player of some kind, I think that could be positive for our team. The only other one I'd maybe trade is, and I know a lot of people might hate me for this, but Paxton. Again, great player. You can get a lot out of him.
Who is this?
I'm all about opportunity, man. If we can get more for a guy, I want to see it happen. What about you, Brian? What do you think? If we're gonna trade a player, who are you gonna trade?
I don't think we trade anybody. If we're gonna trade somebody, a lot of people give me hate for this, but trade Felix. He's somebody you could trade away. People would love to have him. I think he deserves to go to the playoffs, but at the same time, I feel a little conflicted because you know what? He has stuck it out with Seattle. He stuck it out with a team that wasn't good for a long time because he wanted to be on this team and wanted to go to the playoffs with the Mariners. I would say him, but overall, don't trade anybody, actually. I think we got a great team right now. I think we got a great core. I think they just need a little bit of a smoothing over, stand them down a little bit over the offseason, get that bullpen and the starting pitching to do a little bit better. I'm thinking like 10, 15 games if the pitching is healthy and we're using our actual starting pitching that we had. It swings the other way. 10 or 15 games. I know. That's the key, but I'm just saying that I don't think you trade anybody. But
real quick, the last player I thought that maybe the Mariners should trade this year.
Oh, okay.
Going into the playoffs. When they make that playoff stretch, I felt like the Mariners should have been sellers. I don't think that we should have been buyers. It just felt like we had just started to slip, and I think that the evidence since then has proven that we did. Nelson Cruz. I know that a lot of National League teams would not be interested in Nelson Cruz because you have to have a position player. That being said, he could be a great DH for teams like the Yankees, the Minnesota Twins, the Boston Red Sox, the Cleveland Indians even. Teams that need a DH to really solidify who got, by the way, like Ryan said earlier on the show, 37 home runs.
Yeah, it's a lot.
A lot of RBIs. Let me check real quick. I think 115.
Yeah.
Is that right? 115 RBIs. That's the kind of player that gets you those playoff wins.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of player you need on your team to win playoff games.
Yeah.
I felt like the Mariners could have really snagged some good minor leaguers for him. They chose to keep him. Hopefully next year he can play well for us. I don't know if next year is a good time to trade him at this point. He's getting older. I think he'll be 38 next year, and not many teams have an interest in a 38-year-old player.
Yeah. Well, I'm Brian.
Mike.
And thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you guys next week.
Until next time, enjoy some good sports.
Yeah. Have a good week.